Hi, I'm Sarah Bernardo, Associate Digital Media Editor, and welcome to the Devil's Advocate Podcast, Room 204, where we talk about everything from news to pop culture to local Stanton events. The start of the school year is famously associated with new beginnings, new classes, new teachers, new friends, and for some, a new school. With these first few weeks of the 2022-23 school year behind us, today's podcast will be focused on the experiences of students thus far, what it's like being a new student at Stanton, and the future ahead of us. We interviewed a freshman and a senior to see their differing perspectives during their first week of school, as well as asking you to ask us questions about the upcoming year. I'm joined today with Sophia to talk about a freshman's perspective when starting at Stanton. So Sophia, how has your start of high school been?
It's been really good, a lot of work, but I think the main thing, you have to just be organized and you'll be fine.
But do you feel about starting out at a academically rigorous school?
I feel like pressured, but I think I'll do really good. I have to keep my work when it's due, not past the due date.
What was the transition like from middle school to high school?
It was really different because in middle school, I turned in late work, and then high school was I can't do that, and then there's older seniors and all of that.
What are you most looking forward to during your time at Stanton?
Joining clubs and doing softball.
Are there any specific clubs you're looking to join?
The Spanish Honor Society, that one.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Today I'm joined by Tyler Stafford to talk a little bit about what it's like for a senior to start a new year at Stanton. How does your first week of senior year compare to your freshman year?
Senior year is a lot different. You come in with a lot of confidence that you maybe not have had in freshman year, and a lot of exciting things, new classes with teachers that are familiar faces, new students and so many old ones, new classes that hopefully just aren't as hard as your last year. Though in freshman year, I suppose I came in with a very almost scared mindset, unsure of the student body. I didn't know many people, but coming into senior year, you have built all of those relationships with teachers and friends and students, and you actually know your interests. So it really helps to give you that perspective of what you want to do next. And the senior courtyard's a big benefit.
What are you most looking forward to about your senior year?
If I'm going to be honest, it'd be funny to say something like finishing, but there's a lot of events that I really had not participated in Stanton that I now get the opportunity to. Things like homecoming that I, of course, could have participated in but had not. Senior takeover was fun last year. Just so many new events or whatever, and the time to do so now that I don't feel the pressure of all of my classes as much as I had before. Being able to participate in things with the people that I know and have grown to love over the years.
What advice would you have for a freshman starting at Stanton?
Personally, and of course this will vary from person to person, but I would say don't force yourself to come to Stanton. And that sounds very morbid coming from a senior, but I truly do believe that Stanton isn't a school for everyone, and that's okay. If I were to give more general advice, it would be that Stanton is not necessarily a school based on your intelligence, rather your work ethic. Of course, you have to be smart enough up to a point to be able to participate in tests, but at some point it rather becomes how much work you're willing to put in rather than how much you can take out of a lesson or a lesson plan.
Is there anything you wish you had done differently in the past 3 years?
To say that I wish I did something differently would almost just be an answer that I couldn't come up with, mostly because I don't know how things would be different. There are a lot of things that I would wish I had done, but I'm happy where I am as a senior. I feel I wish I put more effort in, but I understand why I hadn't, and things that were out of my control to affect that.
Thank you so much for talking with us on the podcast today.
Yeah, of course.
We asked you to ask us questions about the upcoming school year on Instagram at SCP Newspaper. One of the questions we received is, what is one thing you must do or know to survive at Stanton? In my opinion, you need to join clubs and activities. If you spend your entire time at Stanton focusing only on your classes and homework, you'll be miserable. Clubs can act as a time to let out some stress and socialize. There are tons of clubs such as Multi, Fashion Club, Youth in Government, and Esports. Club Fair is on the 16th of September and is a great opportunity to learn about and get involved in clubs. And with that comes the end of this episode of Room 204. This podcast is produced by podcast engineer Rowan Kirshner and hosted by me, Sarah Bernardo. Thank you for listening, and thanks to Tyler Stafford and Sophia Orihuela for participating in this episode. Theme music is created by Elijah Fluardi. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SCP Newspaper. Stay tuned for the next episode of Room 204, where we will cover more stories about the Stanton community.